Bruce Banner began as a highly intelligent child whose early life was marked by extreme trauma. His father, Brian Banner, was abusive and feared his son's intellect, treating it as something unnatural. This fear led to constant violence, creating an environment of terror. When Bruce's mother, Rebecca, attempted to protect him, she was killed, leaving a wound that would remain hidden but influential throughout his life. Despite this, Bruce excelled academically, mastering nuclear physics and earning several advanced degrees, eventually joining a military project focused on gamma radiation. During a critical test, Bruce exposed himself to a gamma bomb explosion to save a teenager, an event that fundamentally altered his physiology. While the radiation triggered the transformation into the Hulk, the groundwork for his multiple personalities had already been laid by years of unresolved trauma. His mind fragmented into distinct personas, each embodying emotions and instincts he could not process as a child, including rage, guilt, fear, and self-preservation. Banner himself functions as the central, most vulnerable personality. He is the scientist seeking solutions, and the individual haunted by his father's actions. Every other Hulk personality originates from the emotional and psychological fractures that began in his early life. The emergence of these personalities is rooted in survival, intellect, and the unresolved pain of a boy who endured abuse and unknowingly built a mind capable of hosting many powerful identities. Savage Hulk is the version most immediately associated with the Hulk, a massive green figure, limited in speech, driven by instinct and rage. This personality represents Banner's inner child amplified by immense strength and fury. It first appeared in the earliest Hulk stories and quickly became the recognizable default form. Within the Marvel Universe, Savage Hulk is considered a frozen emotional state, reflecting the deep-seated trauma Banner endured during childhood, especially the abuse from his father. He communicates in simple language, often referring to himself in the third person. His power is tied directly to his anger, increasing without limit as his rage grows. Savage Hulk has demonstrated the ability to lift entire mountains, clash with cosmic-level beings, and challenge powerful superhero teams. Despite his overwhelming strength, his mind remains focused on basic needs: safety, peace, and avoidance of threats. When those needs are challenged, he reacts with unstoppable force. This version of the Hulk also solidified the character's cultural presence. Numerous adaptations, from television shows to animated series, highlighted this persona, shaping how audiences worldwide perceive the Hulk. Beneath the destruction lies a deeply vulnerable core. Savage Hulk embodies the frightened, angry child who never fully recovered, transformed into an immense and powerful being. This combination of innocence, trauma, and raw strength makes Savage Hulk the most recognizable and enduring form of Banner's fractured mind. Joe Fixit represents a dramatic shift from the traditional Hulk, appearing as a gray-skinned, streetwise enforcer in Las Vegas. He navigated city streets instead of wilderness or battlefields, working as muscle for casino operators while dressing in tailored suits. This personality emphasizes cunning and strategy over sheer strength, relying on wit, sarcasm, and careful planning to handle conflicts. The origin of Joe Fixit connects to the earliest Hulk stories, which originally depicted the Hulk as gray before production adjustments turned him green. This concept was later revived, transforming Hulk into a figure suited for crime-focused, noir-style storytelling. Within this persona, adventures center on organized crime, risky deals, and the challenges of balancing Banner's intelligence with the privileges and burdens of immense power. Joe Fixit is characterized by a leaner physique compared to other Hulks, embodying the image of a sharp-dressed, cunning enforcer rather than a force of raw destruction. He indulges in vices, uses humor and sarcasm, and approaches situations with calculated risk, distinguishing him sharply from other versions. While originally tied to Las Vegas, Joe has appeared in modern stories alongside Banner's other personalities, demonstrating the lasting appeal and versatility of this particular Hulk. Professor Hulk represents a unique point in Bruce Banner's ongoing struggle between intellect and rage. This personality merges Banner's scientific brilliance, Savage Hulk's immense strength, and Joe Fixit's confidence into a single, balanced identity. The result is a Hulk capable of both extreme physical feats and complex reasoning, able to fight powerful enemies and solve scientific problems within the same day. Visually, Professor Hulk is depicted with a muscular yet refined appearance, often wearing armor or a lab coat, reflecting both power and intellect. He speaks fluently, uses humor, and functions effectively in teamwork scenarios, marking a departure from the mindless or impulsive behavior of earlier Hulks. This integration allowed him to operate as a controlled hero rather than a chaotic force, demonstrating the possibility of harmony between Banner and his transformations. Professor Hulk became highly influential in the 1990s, appearing in multiple comic storylines, animated series, and games. He later reappeared in cinematic adaptations, illustrating a Hulk who balances strength with intelligence and approachability. While some audiences preferred the unpredictability of more violent versions, Professor Hulk established that the character could evolve, showing that immense power and thoughtful control could coexist in a single identity. Worldbreaker Hulk emerged after a catastrophic chain of events that transformed Hulk into an unparalleled force of destruction. When he was exiled from Earth by a group seeking to prevent his rampages, the ship carrying him crash-landed on the planet Sakaar. There he became a gladiator, eventually rising to warlord status and building a life of his choosing. He found love with Kyra and led the Warbound, earning admiration and respect. That life ended in tragedy when the ship that transported him exploded, killing Kyra and countless others. The loss triggered a complete psychological and emotional break, unleashing Worldbreaker Hulk upon Earth. This version exhibits power beyond any previous form. Even his movements can trigger earthquakes, and his anger threatens planetary destruction. Worldbreaker Hulk returned not as a simple monster, but as a commanding force seeking revenge on those who had wronged him. He battled numerous heroes, including Iron Man in his most advanced armor, the X-Men, the Fantastic Four, and other major defenders, often leaving them defeated. In New York City, he forced the group responsible for his exile into gladiatorial combat, reflecting the suffering he endured on Sakaar. His strength escalated to the point of threatening to fracture the planet itself. Ultimately, only the Sentry, a hero of immense power, was able to confront him directly. Their confrontation devastated Manhattan, and when it concluded, Banner's rage collapsed into sorrow, halting the destructive rampage. Worldbreaker Hulk embodies the full scale of Hulk's power when fueled by grief, rage, and the weight of personal loss. Devil Hulk is a deep-seated personality within Bruce Banner's mind, representing calculated malice rather than impulsive rage. One of the oldest facets of Banner's psyche, he embodies repressed hatred, bitterness, and desires for revenge. Devil Hulk operates through control, patience, and strategic cruelty, often depicted as a serpent-like presence within Banner's subconscious. This personality originates from Banner's early trauma, reflecting the abusive father who failed to protect him. Devil Hulk broods with the precision of an experienced predator, waiting for the moment to assert dominance. His danger lies less in raw strength and more in intent. He sees humanity as flawed and believes the Hulk alone should wield authority. When in control, he pursues a vision of conquest and justice through destruction rather than mere survival or defense. In certain storylines, he assumes a complex role, acting as a twisted guide for Banner by encouraging him to embrace his full nature instead of resisting it. Devil Hulk represents inevitability, calculated menace, and the darker potential within Banner's mind. Immortal Hulk presents a version of Hulk defined by his inability to die, transforming him into a figure of supernatural horror. If Bruce Banner is killed during the day, Hulk emerges at night, recovering from wounds that would be fatal to any other being. Bullets, fire, poison, or other lethal attacks cannot stop him. The night always brings his return. This power elevates him from mere brute strength to a near-mythical presence, capable of cosmic-level impact. This iteration emphasizes horror elements, using grotesque transformations, shadow-filled imagery, and encounters with nightmarish foes. The series explores themes of morality, mortality, and the implications of immortality, portraying Banner wrestling with the realization that Hulk is more than a curse. Immortal Hulk ran for 50 issues and received widespread acclaim for redefining the character. By combining horror, tragedy, and raw power, this version of Hulk expanded his role, presenting him as both terrifying and compelling. Doc Green represents a highly analytical and ruthless side of Hulk, emerging as a strategist rather than a force of instinctive rage. This personality combines Hulk's immense strength with Banner's intelligence, but removes compassion, creating a version that operates with cold, clinical precision. His primary mission is to eliminate gamma-powered beings, approaching each target with calculated efficiency. A critical incident involving head trauma and surgery altered Banner's brain chemistry, allowing this personality to emerge when he transformed. Doc Green relies entirely on logic, treating challenges like equations to be solved rather than conflicts to be negotiated. His confidence and arrogance grow as he operates, alienating allies and raising ethical concerns about his methods. While this persona was short-lived, Doc Green demonstrated that Hulk could evolve into a calculated enforcer of his own moral code, showing how intellect combined with power could make him a predator capable of judging who deserves strength. Mindless Hulk appears when Bruce Banner's consciousness recedes entirely, leaving only pure instinct and destructive force. This version lacks reasoning, language, and self-control. He operates solely on survival and rage, functioning as a nearly unstoppable engine of destruction. Mindless Hulk first appeared in the early 1980s during storylines where he was banished to a dimensional crossroads to prevent him from threatening Earth. In this state, he traversed alien worlds, leaving devastation in his wake without hesitation or thought. His power is amplified by the absence of intellect, allowing him to face cosmic-level threats, interdimensional opponents, and vast landscapes with total force. On Earth, appearances of Mindless Hulk are treated as catastrophic events, where even powerful heroes and teams struggle to slow him. He cannot be reasoned with, distracted, or bargained with. He simply advances, smashing relentlessly, until stopped by overwhelming physical power or magical intervention. This personality emphasizes the most extreme danger lurking within Banner, a version of Hulk completely unrestrained, embodying raw, unthinking fury. Kluh is a Hulk personality that emerged from Bruce Banner's deepest grief and despair, rather than anger. First appearing in 2014 during a storyline in which heroes and villains had their moral alignments inverted, Kluh surfaced as a towering, scarred figure when Banner's emotions sank into sorrow. He channels pain into deliberate cruelty, making him far more sadistic. Kluh demonstrated extraordinary destructive power in his debut, overwhelming the Avengers, resisting attacks from Thor's hammer, clashing with Iron Man in advanced armor, and leaving widespread devastation in his wake. This personality represents Banner's pain weaponized, a manifestation of loss and despair rather than raw fury. While Kluh did not achieve the same lasting popularity as other Hulks, his brief appearances highlighted the adaptability of Hulk's psyche, showing that his transformations could extend beyond rage to explore the depths of emotional trauma. Maestro is a future version of Hulk, emerging in a timeline devastated by nuclear war and societal collapse. In this dystopian world, he rises as a tyrant, combining Hulk's immense strength with Banner's intelligence, but warped by decades of radiation exposure and trauma into a calculating and merciless ruler. He governs with absolute authority, adorned with trophies from defeated heroes, including iconic symbols of past defenders. In this timeline, Maestro is not motivated by justice or survival, but by domination. His cunning, patience, and lack of moral restraint make him a formidable opponent. When the present-day Hulk is brought into this future by an older Rick Jones, their confrontation demonstrates the terrifying potential of what Hulk could become if left unchecked. Maestro's battles are intense, requiring strategy, time manipulation, and careful planning for the younger Hulk to succeed. Maestro is widely regarded as one of Hulk's most compelling threats, not as an internal personality, but as a projection of the character's darkest possible future if hope and restraint are lost. Green Scar is a Hulk personality forged on the war-torn planet Sakaar, emerging as a disciplined and strategic warrior rather than a mindless brute. Captured and forced to fight in gladiatorial arenas under the Red King, he adapted to survive, developing leadership skills, tactical thinking, and the ability to coordinate allies. His companions, the Warbound, became loyal comrades, fighting alongside him both in arenas and later in Revolution. As Green Scar, Hulk directed his strength with purpose, leading forces, outmaneuvering enemies, and becoming a symbol of resistance. He toppled the Red King's empire and earned the admiration of the people of Sakaar. This personality represents one of the rare points where Banner achieved balance, combining raw power with strategy, discipline, and community. Tragedy struck when Sakaar was destroyed, killing and countless innocents. The grief and loss twisted Green Scar, laying the emotional foundation for Worldbreaker Hulk, a version driven by vengeance and near unlimited power. Green Scar is widely regarded as one of Hulk's most developed personalities, showing that he can grow beyond rage into a leader, a partner, and a figure capable of inspiring others, while also highlighting how trauma can transform strength into catastrophe. The Guilt Hulk is a personality within Bruce Banner's mind defined by shame and self-recrimination rather than rage or aggression. It embodies his unresolved trauma and deep self-loathing, manifesting as a skeletal, corpse-like figure that haunts Banner's subconscious. Unlike other Hulks, it rarely engages in physical combat, instead exerting influence through psychological pressure. First appearing in the early 1990s during explorations of Banner's mental landscape, the Guilt Hulk symbolizes everything Banner despises about himself: his childhood abuse, the collateral damage caused by Hulk's uncontrollable outbursts, and the lingering consequences of his transformations. Its presence forces Banner to confront memories and emotions he attempts to suppress, functioning as a spectral reminder of his own failings. It coincides with moments of extreme guilt or psychological collapse. The Guilt Hulk underscores that, regardless of Hulk's form, Banner cannot escape the weight of responsibility for the destruction and suffering linked to his existence. Savage Banner is a personality in Bruce Banner that emerges without the Hulk's transformation, revealing the danger inherent in the man himself. Unlike other Hulks, this identity channels trauma and aggression through human means rather than superhuman strength. Savage Banner surfaces when Banner's unresolved pain takes over, bypassing his alter egos entirely and manifesting as cruelty, manipulation, and violence. This persona highlights that Banner's own psyche can be as destructive as any Hulk form. His actions reflect the lingering effects of his abusive upbringing, showing that the darkness behind Hulk's power also resides in Banner's choices and impulses. Though rare, his appearances are significant, demonstrating that the danger is not solely in gamma radiation, but in the human mind unrestrained, proving that Banner himself can embody the same destructive force as any of his Hulk personalities.